Hello, everyone. We have terrible fucking news. I think you know what it is, Velli.
Uh, Yesterday was very grave indeed.
Yes, they killed a fucking squirrel.
That squirrel was everything for us. You know, it sounds like this. You really begin asking to yourself, why is it that every election year there's an animal sacrifice?
Great question.
Like, like in 2016, it was Harambe. For 2020, it was George Floyd. And for 2024, it was Peanut the squirrel.
It's always some dumb white bitch's fucking fault, too. It's like the first time it's some retarded kid, and this time it's some like bitchy broad, literally named Karen in a bureaucracy. It's like it's the perfect fucking caricature. It's ridiculous.
And in 2020, the closest we had to an animal sacrifice was George Floyd, which sounds horrific to say in terms of optics, but you know what? Screw it. Why not?
Thank God that this thing barely can record my laughs. I don't fucking get why it doesn't pick it up, but that is fucking ridiculous.
It it's the most unserious thing ever, and there's always some like really shitty meme like attached to like those election years, like for like in 2016, it was let's Pokemon go to the polls. In
Yeah.
2020, everything was a really shitty meme back in 2020, and in
Oh, I
2020.
know.
And in 2024, it was those really dumb brat coconut tree memes that white homosexuals made for Kamala Harris.
It's very sad indeed. But there's something I have to say. I think I've told you this before that two inspirations I have for this show is Too High for Stupid and the Trash Rats podcast. And I think you understand a bit about like what too high for stupid is and just talking about lolcows and shit. I don't think I've ever explained trash rats or if you even understand or knew about it.
No, not really.
Okay, so do you ever hear about Monkey Jones or like Rusty Cage?
I know Monkey Jones and I know Rusty Cage, yes.
Okay. So they had this channel, there was like a podcast, and originally it's state of YouTube, and they did it with Emperor Lemon and Reactor. But then that ends, Emp leaves, and with Reactor, Tim Pool's brother, Rusty, Mumkey, and Reactor create Trash Rats podcast, and it's just fucking beautiful because you have like two retards and one like conspiracy retard, and it was just fucking ridiculous.
It's
And I'm thinking we're gonna need a third guest. I don't know who because because they started that podcast around, I think, like Joe Biden getting elected or before it, and they had like a huge thing where like they were gambling on like who would win, Joe Biden or Trump. They had like hundreds of dollars on it.
who the fuck won?
Mumkey, he betted on Joe Biden. Reactor betted that there wouldn't be any winner, that there would be like a civil fight, and Rusty betted on Trump, if I'm remembering right.
Of course, Monkey got it right.
Look,
This
Joe
chick.
Biden, with his mysterious 20 million extra votes superpower, was able to pull it out. I mean, yeah, like yeah, he pulled it out. He pulled it out.
It really shocks me that like people had like any confidence in the man. Like I
I've heard
understand.
the best explanation I've heard so far is Joe Biden won for a similar reason that Bernie Sanders could have potentially beaten Donald Trump in 2016 if he was able to be the Democratic primary or whatever the fuck. And that is Donald Trump is trying to appeal to broke ass blue collar workers. Bernie Sanders trying to do the same, albeit differently. And that would have made it much more like neck and neck. And Joe Biden from back in the day, I think apparently did more like political work for unions and shit. So hypothetically, that's what swayed so many votes in his favor back then. And Kamala didn't really have that association, and she wanted to shut down some shit that would have fucked a lot of them over in Pennsylvania. So that's why that happened.
I like to deeply imagine the reason Kamala Harris won was not won. I mean, fuck no, not even won. Lost.
We're denying the election.
Yes, for denying the election. It was rigged, pure and simple. But anyways, you ever see her stepdaughter?
Should I look it up right now?
Yes, I swear to God, her
Is
step.
she legal?
She is legal, I believe.
Thank fuck.
The only way
Okay,
to
continue.
the only way to describe Kamala Harris's stepdaughter, like I don't even think she even has like much of a presence. But the only thing I know is that like she looks like she like murdered her kids in like the 80s.
Okay, that's a description.
Look her up right now.
Okay, I'm looking her up. Kamala Harris stepdaughter porn JK.
Fucking hell.
Um Ella Emhoff. Um I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing more like art school lesbian that like when you're in high school, you try to be friends with her and date her because you're like a retard and you don't understand like social shit and you're not aware like, oh wait, she's probably a closeted lesbian or some shit. And then you just have like a big fight over it and it's really awkward, like that like 500 Days of Summer or some shit. That's what she's reminding me of.
She's like a yeah. I thought she had like a mullet, which like described because I've never seen a woman in a mullet look sane.
She's got a Jerry curl.
Yeah, fair enough. The best way to really describe how she would probably be like personality wise would be like I don't know a Pinkerton song.
Oh my God.
It's like
You
some
said
like it's like some 19-year-old boy fucking posting on Instagram stories his hurt and pain to Pink Triangle by Weezer.
Oh, when you said Pinkertons, I was thinking of like the like detective agency that shot up a bunch of fucking steel workers. I wasn't thinking about like the incel songs.
In all honesty, I'd rather be a union buster than be known for making Pinkerton.
It- but that is okay. The thing is though is that when I learned about the song Pinkerton and that it was like the lead singer of Weezer, like he wanted to date a girl in college, but she had like a lesbian supporting badge on her like shirt or something, and he was like, I love her, but fuck, she's a lesbian. And then years later, they learn like, oh, she wasn't gay, she was just supporting them. That feels like a fucking 4chan post. That feels like beat for beat, like the perfect 4chan post. I'm not joking.
Rivers Cuomo has such social ineptitude that it's no wonder that he inspired like negative XP and Fried by Fluoride.
The thing is though, is that, like the only Weezer song I know is Buddy Holly. That's it.
I've listened to every Weezer album, and for some reason, Pinkerton is just the odd one out. It is just straight up a precursor to like incel core.
I I've heard people try to change incel core to e-punk, and I just feel like that really diminishes the name because incel core is just such a fucking wild name.
Yeah, exactly. I think calling it e-punk is really lame considering a lot of the same artists that still do music, which is barely any of them because Negative XP nuked everything. They haven't like denounced their previous works. They're just like still content with it.
They shouldn't denounce anything. Scott Pilgrim versus the World ruined an entire generation of women is one of my favorite songs. That and the beating down on hippie scum at the 1968 National Democratic Convention.
Who could have guessed that the person that did all that was some Korean man?
I'm not surprised at all. When I saw a picture of like the negative XP dude, I was like, yeah, this fits. I was surprised he had like such good biceps. Like that's what surprised me. Like, okay, he's in shape. Huh. Everything else though, like the hair, the glasses, the shirt that said like incel lives matter. Yeah, this fits. This totally fits.
It truly fits. He looks like that one dude off of Mob Psycho.
I've never seen Mob Psycho, but I think I know what you're talking about, like the
You know, the
flat
kid.
haired.
Yeah, like the kid with the bowl cut and the fucking egg-shaped head.
Oh, that's what it's called. I was about to call it a flat bob for some reason.
You couldn't just like call it a bowl cut.
I forgot what that was called.
Mo did not die for this.
I don't know who's Mo. Are
Three
you talking about like
Stooges, you fuck.
what?
The Three Stooges, you bastard. The one with the bowl cut. You know, the one that just
Oh,
beats the shit out of his brothers for no reason.
I was thinking of the fucking Simpsons.
Oh god. I feel like I'd
You know,
rather
no,
talk to me Mo from The Simpsons.
well, I mean, who would be more relevant if you say the name Mo? Like, what's the first thing people are gonna think of? Like, how many people even remember the Three Stooges?
I could imagine millions of people considering they're one of the most well-known American comedy routines.
I don't know about that. I think they used to be.
How about you? How about you just shut the fuck up right there, okay? You know, I'm really tired of your back talk here, man.
This is really, I'm trying to think. This reminds me of, oh my fucking God. There was another conversation I had like this where I was like explaining, either someone was explaining a group of people to me, or I was explaining a group to someone else, and they were like, "Are you talking about so and so?" No, this happened way before then. And they're like, "What the fuck? What?"
Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful science. Also, have you
Anyway, but
hmm?
I want to be able to put this in the title. And do you know anything about Dragon Age: The Veilguard? Because I really want to put in the episode titled Dragon Age: The Veil Tards. I want to somehow work that in there, God damn it. And I don't want to do false advertising.
Yeah, I know a decent bit of Dragon Age.
Um, like years ago, I played like maybe like a couple hours into Inquisition, and then I bought it when I moved out again in my apartment, and I played like 20 minutes of it, didn't even get to the combat, and I just got bored and went back to playing like Dark Souls or some shit. I just didn't feel like it.
Okay, so for me, when I was like 11 or 12, I convinced my
Yeah.
parents to buy me Dragon Age Origins for like the PS3, which is such a shitty console to like run games on, but I digress.
Oh yeah.
Um, I did like three playthroughs of that game in like 100% in each one. I loved it. And then Dragon
Oh
Age
no.
2 came out, and this was coming out the same time as The Witcher 2, which completely mogs Dragon Age 2 in every way, but I digress. I had fun with it. I just didn't think it was that great because it was significantly worse from a technical aspect because EA just forced them to crunch. And I and then
Yeah.
I and then I played Inquisition. When I played Inquisition, I was about 16. My ex-girlfriend bought it for me. And the way I could really describe Inquisition would be like the disastrous effects of Joss Whedon, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I can see it. I can
It's
see it.
it's like if Joss Whedon wrote for an MMO, but the MMO was made by like Koreans. It's just such
Definitely.
it's just such a weird game. There's like the content is there. It's just horrible content.
I think the funniest thing I saw was someone like edited like random scenes out of Veilguard where like they slightly decreased the character's head size and like increased like the body size, and it's like wow, they look more human and natural now. They actually look better. every time I look back at the actual game, I can't unsee it now. The heads are too fucking big, like just like 5% too big.
The big issue with I think the big issue with all that's because BioWare just has like it just does not have like a presentable like art style
It does
for,
not.
for like
It does
characters
not.
because if you look at Dragon Age, that game looked dated even for its time, especially Dragon Age 2 compared to The Witcher 2, which looked significantly better, and it was probably made with like less of a budget too, by like
Yeah.
by like Polish Slavs that couldn't program a hitbox to save their lives. And then they did a genius addition. Oh well, not BioWare, EA. They forced them to use what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, they forced them to use like
Cryo engine? Is that what it's called?
No, no, nope, nope. The engine that Bungie, not Bungie for fuck's sake. Why do I keep thinking of Halo? BioWare was Frostbite engine. Frostbite was used for like Battlefield and shit. It was not meant for an RPG. It
I
even
heard that, yeah.
Yeah, I looked into development of Inquisition, and it was like and it was a miracle. It came out like as competent as it did.
Yeah.
Like like the engine didn't even have like a dialogue box option, which is
Oh fuck.
which was beautiful. They had to remove actual features that were promised, like I don't know, like destructive environments and shit. And tech
Ooh.
demos they shared were just blatantly scripted.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was all a mess. I did have fun with the game. It had like some decent interactions.
Yeah.
I can really appreciate the Iron Bull, which is just Freddie Prinze Jr. as a pansexual mutant.
Oh god.
On
Like
I
what kind of mutant?
I'm talking is quite literally called the Iron Bull. What do you expect?
Um I, I I'm imagining several things. I'm imagining like a literal bowl, but walking on two legs made of iron. I'm imagining like a male Jewish porn star with a giant cock because of the iron part. I thought of the Iron Dome,
Oh my
and I thought of like just a dude's head on a cow. Like those are like the three things that kind of just popped in all at once.
It's basically like this 10-foot dude with like horns and shit and an eye patch. And if you romance him as a male character, he will make you bottom.
Oh no.
But unironically, he's actually the best companion in the game. And the best part is he's voiced by just literally Fred from the live action Scooby Doo.
Oh fuck yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
that fixes everything.
and not only just that, but the actor is Puerto Rican.
We would all bottom for Freddie Prince Jr.
Who wouldn't? Who genuinely wouldn't? And other things I remember about Dragon Age Inquisition is just this really annoying lesbian elf who's just like
It's always
really
the
who's just like really racist to other elves and looks like that she would beat the shit out of her girlfriend if she could.
I'm starting to think we just might be like really sexist, like not even like as like a joke. I feel like that might be a genuine problem like we have and a lot of people have and we're not even realizing it. Because like every time there's like a really annoying character, it's always like a white woman. Like this is either us or them, and I don't know anymore.
I'm Sometimes you look into the abyss and the abyss stares back.
Yeah, sometimes the abyss like blinks at you and tightens and untightens out. I might be thinking of something else, but either way, uh did you see like any clips of some dialogue of a certain non-binary horned character in Veilguard,
Oh,
specifically involving vegetables?
I know about the non-binary character, but I don't remember the vegetable part.
Oh God, it's Veilguard and Turning Red is what I would use as like two different mediums where like you can very clearly tell there is some poor woman working on it that just genuinely needs to see a therapist and work through their family issues. Okay, let me break this down for you.
Hmm.
Cue the twerking Omni-Man meme. Okay, let me break it down for you.
What?
So you
That?
got this horned Qunari bitch, whatever she's called, and you're sitting down at this table, and her mom's coming in, and they say something about like, I like some vegetables. And then they take some time to cook up some vegetables. They're all like, it's already like really uncomfortable. And then the the Qunari horned bitch says that she's non-binary, and then like a very realistic argument like breaks out where like she's being a petty bitch. Her mom is trying to understand her, even brings up like fantasy trans people like, is this what you mean? I'm just trying to understand you. It's like, no, mom, why can't you be fucking proud of me? It legitimately feels like, okay, this is based off of an actual real life scene, isn't it? This is
Oh my God.
isn't it? Yeah. I'm not even joking, dude. I'm just what the fuck?
I don't know why, but every time I see BioWare like writing, it is genuinely terrible, and I don't mean that as like some Grums type shit where I'm just like a secret, I don't know, gooner or something, but like none of them none of them talk like real people, if that's the best way to put it.
Yes.
I feel
Do you
like
know who
along
Zach hate? Sorry.
uh
Go.
Zach Hato of like Psychic Pebbles.
Yes.
What do you say?
Okay. Have you ever heard of Oni Plays? Like a Let's Play channel that Zach is sometimes on.
Yeah, I watched her Y2K stuff.
Okay. Um, there's two different videos where I feel like Zach Hadel is just getting more and more genuinely pissed off. And out of all the people that could be complaining about like the writing, I think he has like the most legitimate right. It was Forspoken and it was that Saints Row reboot where it's like literally beat for beat, he's like predicting like the cringy, terrible dialogue. Then the character actually says it and he's just getting more and more pissed off. And it's beautiful.
I've seen this for Forspoken, but never for Saints Row. I forgot the Saints Row reboot existed.
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the beautiful moment when we found out that Tomar was rebuilding smokestacks in America with no regulations because he cares so much for our fucking history. That's what's
I,
up, tubes.
I could truly appreciate Tomar for his commitment towards protecting the security and the law of the mall by shooting a teenage girl that was running away after shoplifting a CD.
You know, I once actually met Tomar. It was actually really fucking cool, like no joke.
For real?
Yeah, I met him. It was like the one time I was like on vacation and I was going out west and I was at like a Dollar General just buying like some food before going to like a gas station and going to a hotel. And I walk in there and I see Tomar. Then he looks at me and I look at him and he's like what you're doing right now, huh? And I'm just so confused. And I'm at the register and I see Tomar and he's walking out with like 11 or some shit fucking Milky Ways. He's trying to walk out the door. And the cashier is just yelling at him really loud, like, hey, you got to pay for those. And then he just turns around like, God damn it. And then he makes the cashier scan each of them one at a time, very slowly. And he said it was to prevent any electrical interference. I still don't even know if that's a fucking word, but yeah, that's what happened.
Did you just make me hear the fucking copy pasta?
Yes, I fucking did. Yes, I
Be-
fucking did.
because I was like, oh shit, this asshole actually met Tomar. That's nice. And then the wheels start slowly turning. I was just like wondering, what the fuck? This asshole played me again.
I'm an absolute fucking recluse. If I ever tell you I met someone, I am fucking with you.
Oh, sure, you're a recluse until it's time to start chasing some fucking trans women.
Uh, it's a very popular hobby on the right. You should have seen the grinder shortages at the RNC.
Yeah, I really bet you almost got your ass taken by one.
Oh, oh yeah, I think I did tell you about that. Like using Hilly and like two fucking times, like some 30-year-old black trans woman is asking me like, "Hey, do you got fat cheeks?" And I'm just so confused. And I'm like, God damn it. Why can't why is this what like hits me up at 2 in the morning? Why God fucking damn.
Um, for me personally, for me, it's just like women. Like for example, for some unknown reason, I will try to like talk to a woman in like a platonic, friendly manner, and then out of
Yes.
out of nowhere, after like a day or two of talking, she will start like flirting with me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why can't you
See,
be normal?
I would have the same kind of problem, except I'm intentionally, making them fall in love with me with my suave style. You're doing it unintentionally, and I can understand how there could be like some problems with that. I can definitely see that.
True. At the same time, you always seduce them with your luscious postal dude voice, while I have to unintentionally seduce them with my blatant autism.
I listened back to this podcast twice while I was at work, like the first episode, and I'll be honest, like there were times where I was just bursting out fucking laughing like every like 5 minutes. I felt like I don't know if it's just funny on its own or if it's just because the conversation itself was making me laugh and I'm laughing because of the memory and not because of like it actually being funny as just someone else listening to it. I don't know.
I don't fucking know either. Sometimes I listen to this and I'm just wondering what the fuck is wrong with me. Like I feel like I feel like I was just like set up to just like fail in some aspects. It's truly beautiful.
No one is set up to fail. If we're ever, don't worry, I would never troll you on this except for that one time regarding the Tomar incident. But if we ever have like a guest on, I'll be sure to tell you whether or not I intend to fuck with them.
Woohoo. And if we do have a guest, I don't really want it to be some famous asshole, and I don't want it to be some like political person.
I don't
However,
want that either.
my main goal is to invite Hassan Piker
Oh,
to a podcast and
oh.
just tell him that like charging $50 for shitty merchandise is not socialism.
I have a couple other things to say to Cenk Uyghur's nephew. I'm not calling him by his, I'm never calling him by his name. I'm exclusively referring to him as Cenk Uyghur's nephew.
So why did you work for a newspaper named after a Turkish nationalist movement known for perpetrating the Armenian genocide, Hassan?
I don't respect his. It's not that I don't respect Hassan. Like he works out, he takes care of himself. I can respect that. He's very rich. I can also respect that. It's he's very obnoxious and always just never listening to other opinions and talking shit about them. I do that all the time, I'm on his side on that kind of thing, We're homies on that issue. I don't respect his fans. Because there was one time I met an actual fan of his in real life, and I immediately realized this is why they're so retarded. It's
I've
women.
I've I used
Goddamn women.
I used to actually like flirt with Hassan fans,
Oh
and
my
they
God.
and let me tell you something. You know that meme about how like men in college will just like lie about knowing Marxism just to sleep with women.
Yes. Yes.
That is basically it. Except
Oh
I'm
my
the one that
God.
actually managed to like read about fucking communism and shit. It is
Hey,
genuinely pull. political students. They're like reading about like I don't know, Marxism or Stalinism. It's never like it's always like Stalinism or Maoism. You'll never see a college student read about like Ho Chi Minh or even just like Pol Pot.
Hey, hey, hey. Everyone loves a commie girl, 'cause then everyone can have a piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I know what you're saying. And she ends up listening to the Red Scare podcast, and she just starts, and then like 2 years later, she becomes a trad calf larper on like Instagram or something or Discord.
Uh, I was thinking she was gonna become polyamorous and marry a certain Borderlands writer. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Anthony Birch, the years have been kind to him. They've been so kind to him that his sister became immensely more relevant to pop culture, and even then, she's not that great of a voice actress.
Who's the worst voice actor?
Like, who's my least favorite voice actor?
Yeah.
Um, if I had to do a toss up, it'd probably be Prosy D or Ashley Birch.
Hmm. I have no clue who any of these people are usually when you say a name, so I'm going to assume they were voicing like the zombies in Plants vs. Zombies, 'cause fuck it, why not?
No, nope, nope. They were nope. Nope. Prosy D voices like actual like anime and shit, and like actually like well-known anime. He was in God of War Ragnarok too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Ashley Birch is, that one abusive lesbian in Life is Strange that you're expected to give a shit about. But the issue is that like the writers of Life is Strange forgot to give her ending actual like quality because it is a really not a good ending.
I never played Life is Strange. All I know is like this blue-haired chick is kind of dumb. Like, is this whole game literally just reversing time to stop her from accidentally killing herself? Just the whole fucking game?
The
Is
whole
this it?
the whole game is literally you trying to prevent your BPD girlfriend who is on the verge of beating the shit out of you in public for not listening to her lovely tattoo playlist and just having and just telling her to take her fucking Zoloft like any normal human being would. And then the entire time Max, the main character named after Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye, because what generic high schooler isn't named after a really boring book? But I digress. Um, and then along the way, there's like three characters she'd be better off with. Warren might be a simp, but god damn it, he is a very likable one. And then you have Kate, who's just like the victim of like revenge porn, and you actually have to like save her from suicide, and you will feel more connection with her than anyone else. And then you have Victoria, who's just like this preppy, who's just like this preppy bitch, um, that has like it has more of like a character arc than Chloe, the girl you are supposed to care for.
I wait, this is reminding me of something of a it ties into that. Um I don't know where I saw that, but someone wrote down somewhere it was something like I was playing Life is Strange and I was getting near the end and I was thinking, "Oh, so both of these characters are going to grow as people, we're going to learn something, watch some, growth as characters and evolve." And I'm at the end of the game and I'm like, this bitch is exactly the same. She's still a terrible fucking friend. She's still a bitch. Like what the fuck?
I still find it so pissy that Warren got shafted for basically the most unlikable character known to man. Like, don't get me wrong, Warren should not be obligated to start getting some
Yeah.
because it'd be like pretty unrealistic. But at the same time, a bisexual girl not going for a man instead of the woman is certainly something.
A very rare sight indeed. Very rare.
It's incredibly rare, damn it.
You know, women are like spaghetti noodles, straight until wet.
Oh dear Jesus.
One of my favorite lines. I don't know who I stole that from, but I'm glad I stole it.
Sweet Jesus. Okay.
This is a podcast based entirely on plagiarism. The symbol of the channel is just a photo of like a painting of Niccolo Machiavelli, but I just put like a filter on it on Snapchat. That's it.
Do you know what else I truly appreciate about life?
What?
Jesus Christ, you are fucking crackling.
Oh, am I? I didn't realize.
Maybe it's 6 now, who knows?
No, okay.
Okay, so like I feel like one of the truly best parts about Life is Strange is the fact that like Chloe is really well written for what's essentially a horrible character. The issue is you're supposed to care for her and not just like feel some sympathy for her because, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you can't like fix people and you can't like help people out. I feel like Life is Strange would have been better if it was just like, hey, you can't save her and you can't fix her. She's self-destructive. You can feel bad for her. You can lament the fact that you never did, but it's better off for your mental to like cut her off and start anew. And it just never does that.
You know, I don't know how to describe it, or I think I do, but it's something I think that's said about like woke movies or woke games where they make a character that could be interesting that, you know, but the problem is they make them spiteful as shit, then they never change, and the whole time the writers are expecting the audience to be like, "Wow, I really agree with her or him at every fucking stage of the movie. I'm really glad that they stayed true to their dog shit ideals and morality."
The world will never know,
We do know. We know a lot of things. We know too much.
truly. And I feel like the big issue I have is that they made a prequel game where you play as Chloe as the main character.
Oh no.
Okay, so you know there was a voice actor strike in like 2016, 17, right?
Um, no, I'm not too familiar with strikes. I know about like the TV strike in like '08, I think.
Okay, so in 2016, 17, voice actors had a strike and they wanted to like unionize, which is fine and all, I guess. The issue is
Yeah.
they had to replace all the voice actors with like non-union ones because the
Ooh.
competent ones were on strike.
Ooh.
And apparently even the writers were on strike because it's somehow worse. Because you'll have Chloe be because Chloe in the game, and to quote someone else, Chloe has the personality of a manic depressive Tumblr blogger.
Ooh. Ooh.
And there's a literal gameplay mechanic where you just feed into her growing bipolar disorder.
Oh God. So
And it's
you can make it
perfect.
worse.
Yeah, you essentially make it worse to get what you want.
The canon ending is like maximum bipolar disorder.
So real. And you wanna know another favorite of mine?
What?
Um I remember an interaction like the first episode of the prequel game. I
Yeah.
remember when she goes into some like venue that's like in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially like some hardcore band, I think, or something else. And do you know what she does?
What?
Um, She starts complaining that the band is charging $11 for merch.
Just 11.
Yeah, like $11. Like that's not a fucking steal.
What a broke bitch.
Are you kidding me? Hot Topic sells like Fleetwood Mac shirts for like $17. And then, but God forbid you buy some like hardcore bandits merch for like 11. And
Is
even and I'm guessing, considering the venue was like in some barn, I'm gonna have to guess that even the venue tickets weren't like much either.
like a nickel.
Yeah, like probably a nickel, and the merch was $11, and the beer must have been pretty cheap too. If anything, this must have been a pretty solid venue, all things considering.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that I don't really like women with blue hair. Why is it always like a bad sign? Like what the fuck is up with that?
I like to imagine that Marie Canker of Ed, and Eddie just paved the way for that. It's either that or it's like the manic pixie dream girl trope. You know the one, what you know the one I mean, right?
Yeah.
Except Chloe doesn't fix anyone. If anything, Chloe is just such a horrible person that she just pushes everyone away into like better lifestyles inadvertently. Chloe
Some
is
people really only exist as lessons.
Yeah, some people exist as lessons. Some people just like don't really mature beyond that, and when they do, it's usually amazing, but sometimes they never do. It's like,
Oh yeah,
hmm?
to loop this back around, I'm remembering like why I like the song Scott Pilgrim versus the World ruin an entire generation of women because it almost sounds to me throughout the song that the the singer isn't complaining about a woman or women. He's not like screaming into a void. It's more like he's talking to the audience, and telling you, "Hey, you can do better than this. You don't have to be with this bitch. You can aim higher than this mentally ill sycophant. You don't have to do this. Would we both want to fuck her? Of course we would, but we don't have to." I think that's why I liked it. Are you there?
Song though.
Oh.
Um, the thing about the Scott Pilgrim song is like Mr. Negative XP, the Korean man, literally describes those women perfectly to a T. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, I
You know,
do.
personality disorder. It's like a 30-year-old barista, but not the kind you look forward to. They're not like those like non-binary ones. They're like in their 20s, clearly have a Tumblr and watch like Has Been Hotel, where you can tell they're gonna make you some good fucking coffee. Granted, it's very overpriced coffee for its quality, but even then, they're not gonna
By the
fucking.
by the time Has Been Hotel came out, those women were already in their 30s. Let's be real here. They've been around a long while.
Yeah, true. I guess I guess just like the ones with like the short hair, the ones that look like they had like an amino at some point.
They went through a really bad breakup in college, and they're still at the Starbucks.
Yeah, but they're still at the Starbucks, pleading to God you tip them more than necessary for microwaving a fucking croissant.
I've heard at some places if you type in like a negative number on the tip thing, like you'll get like it will lower the price of whatever you're paying for. Like you can glitch it.
That sounds excellent.
I put in negative $5 for this $5 meal.
So real. It's
Tip. You gotta tip the customer.
you got to tip the customer.
I'm ordering your dog shit. Give me back my money, damn it. You don't deserve it still.
I'm ordering your dog shit. Now pay me back, asshole.
I'm
Ah,
not tipping until you exclusively make a goth IHOP, damn it.
I'm not tipping it until you personally erase Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid service from the internet in this instance.
I'm not stopping until everyone stops saying the N-word and only refers to it as the Ricky word because that just fucking kills me so much. I just die laughing every time.
I will not I will not tip until every woman on Twitter, whenever there's like a slight presidential issue, begins referencing the Handmaid's Tale, where where it just turns into like some weird fetish, where it's just like them constantly bringing up this really boring piece of media. And I'm not saying this because like I'm trying to make fun of them. I just don't like it. I feel like the Stepford Wives would be like a significantly better addition because it's a lot more poignant and there's like no subtext whatsoever. It's literally just these scientists created like really robotic women to be like a horrific representation of what women should be.
I
Uh,
won't give my tip until scientists can figure out a technique to always make the pull-out method work.
I will not tip until you can convince me otherwise that not lacing every can of pink monster with cyanide would remove about 90% of the BPD from this gene pool.
I will not tip until you can convince me that steel beams can melt under 10,000 degrees Celsius or some shit.
And for the piece de resistance, I will not tip until you can convince me otherwise that Baron Trump and Ronan Hawk Cobain, Ronan Cobain Hawk, whichever, are not the primary pieces of white boy royalty.
I think they are.
In all honesty, Baron Trump is just such an anomaly. He gets fucking taller with like every appearance.
I think he's the one that like told Trump like you need to go on like podcast and shit. And I was listening to that last Trump rally when he won, and Trump's thanking like Aiden Ross and Joe Rogan and shit. And I just can't wait till like 100 years from now, like some scholars are gonna have to figure out like why the fuck those two had any importance.
Yeah, just like 50 years down the line, and you're like, what is Aiden Ross and Playboy Cardi? What the fuck do those two have to do with each other in general? And
Who is
then
eight? They're gonna have to explain what like kick was.
they also had to explain the Joe Rogan podcast, and then they had to bring up the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Diaz, this living cigar of a man.
He's a
Um,
literal Cuban cigar.
this man who will quite literally give you a cookie and is just laced to hell and back with enough marijuana to kill an elephant.
Hey, that's enough to kill an elephant. He didn't say enough to kill a man. This still sounds safe.
But at the same time, if you pump the human with enough tranquilizers to kill an elephant, that person is not getting up.
Well, you're not getting up either way. You're supposed to like lay down and relax. That's the whole point of it. Duh.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I pumped you with enough sleeping medication to put down a fucking T-Rex, would you live or would you just straight up overdose?
Uh, I don't know. I'm more concerned. Can we please stop talking about like pumping me with things?
You're only making it gay. You're the only one
Uh,
here adding any
It makes it.
homoeroticism to the conversation at hand here.
I can't fucking help it. I just love to fuck with people when talking to them and just take like the littlest thing and just fucking twist it so out of hand.
God, you're so real. Anyway, so I do want to bring this back to like the instant core topic. Do you want something that I realized?
What?
I realized how like varied it was at times. Like
Yeah.
like not negative XP. Like I think Fluoride by Fluoride does what he did like significantly better nowadays. But like I'm referring to like Exo Willow and Steak Fry. Steak Fry basically made like country punk, and it was like the best shit I've ever heard. It's basically just cow punk. It's amazing. Unfortunately, though, he did die of brain cancer like last year,
Oh no.
which is a big shame because his music was like insanely high quality for someone with such a low following. And I do feel like he would have like blown up, which would have been really nice. Exo Willow basically made Hyper Screamo,
Hmm.
where it's just like hyper pop vocals but with like incel lyrics. He made shit like Girls Get the Fuck Out, Beta Orbiter. My girlfriend is a dead zombie pop star. He he was this like 15-year-old black kid who made the best cover of Backstabber by Kesha I've ever heard. And I shade you
Uh,
not, he was also popular among the normal hyperpop scene from like 2020, and he also just makes other random underground music now. Um,
everything's underground.
yeah, pretty much. The hyperpop one, he's called Heart Crush.
Yeah.
He had really good taste in like games and media and shit. He sampled "Scene Kid Love" for Vomit in the Bathroom demo, which has a YouTube thumbnail of Jesse Slaughter on it.
We should start like prank calling like radio stations and try to make a request to get one of these songs on the air. Like, hey, my girlfriend Angela just broke up with me. Do you think you can play this hit? It was our favorite song together, man. I'm trying to win her back. And trying to get them to be like, yeah, we haven't got a request in a long time. Hey, everybody listening right now, we got a special song for two lovebirds in need of some help. And then they play some dumb shit.
And then they play some dumb shit, and it's probably just like
They play a dig bar song.
they play Bro Job. They're fucking playing Woke
Four
Up in the
big
Wrong Neighborhood,
guys.
or just Woke Up in the Wrong Neighborhood by Infectious Jelking, where it just opens up with that Daniel Larson sample.
I met this dude down in North Carolina. The way he was dressed and the way he looked really stressed and the way he was dressed, I could tell he didn't fuck with vagina. I just if any fucking pop station ever opens with a dig with True Story by Dig Bar, I would forever keep my fucking car radio set to that one, just knowing I have to make sure it stays on this in case they ever make such a great decision again.
It's kind of in all honesty, do you know something that I kind of like have taken for granted nowadays?
What's that?
The radio station, in my opinion, is the most hit or miss shit about any place in the world IMO.
Yes.
Like for example, my best friend Carl, I listened to radio station in his shitty little rural Ohio town, and I want to kill myself. But then over, but then like I'll like tune in into the radio station in like San Antonio and like the rock station, and bam, that shit's beautiful. You will have to suffer through a Foo Fighters song, and in my opinion, the worst thing Dave Grohl has ever done was record My Hero and not The Infidelity, which he's committed several times.
Look, I can respect infidelity. Look, it's sometimes you just get tired of him. Sometimes you gotta check out something new, you know. He's an artist. He knows a thing or two about, desiring originality. Uh,
That's so fucking weird.
when I was growing up, uh, fuck. when I was growing up, I didn't even realize there was more than like three radio stations because either like on like the school bus or like my parents' cars or whatever, it's always like it's either country, it's some dumb pop shit, or it's like talk radio. It's just those three things. It wasn't until I got my own car and I'm just flipping through it that I'm like, you motherfuckers.
I remember. Do you ever remember just like 2010, 2011 out of nowhere?
What part about 2010 or 2011?
Just like the radio hits. Like I don't know how to
Oh,
describe it. But 2010, in
ooh,
my opinion, looks like the Weezer logo.
I I fucking hated that era. I hated it so fucking much. Just no music I like was popular. It was the most frustrating shit.
Like I feel like, but like the worst part about those times wasn't just Justin Bieber. He was just some like 14-year-old kid being molested by P Diddy. But to be fair, what 14-year-old wasn't molested during that time? I'm sure Justin Timberlake was as well. But like, but the most annoying parts weren't that. It was just like your Katy Perry's, your Taylor Swift's.
Yeah, like are they even really relevant? Like I know Taylor Swift is still doing concerts, but like let me take a second to just try and just think off the top of my head like Pitbull, Kesha, Beyonce, uh well, basically any like singer on like the Epstein flight list. It was probably like a big in the 2010s, early 2010s. Like, are they still really popular? Do people even give a shit?
I
Like
mean,
Taylor
Taylor
Swift is like the last one.
Like Taylor Swift is like the only one selling like billion-dollar tours and shit.
I
And
heard
I
about
don't
J-Lo was going to have a concert tour, but it was canceled due to low ticket sales. And I was reminded like who the fuck listen who is Jennifer Lawrence again? I don't fucking remember. I know they were
uh
famous once for something.
the only thing I know about Jennifer Lopez was the fact she made like really meh music and she played as Selena Quintanilla in that one biopic. Casting a Puerto Rican to play a Mexican was certainly an idea.
Well, if they can have an Italian guy play a Native American in a commercial and shed the most beautiful tear ever, I don't think anyone cares. Like, if it's believable enough, you can play other races in movies. I believe that.
Yeah, same, but the issue is like but then you have like Jared Leto playing that one guy from the house from like House of Gucci.
Yeah.
But at the same time, who really likes Jared Leto? The guy's kind of been up his ass ever since he won like an award for Dallas Buyers Club, where he played a transgender woman.
Jared Leto is like a high functioning version of like Ezra Miller. That's how I would describe him.
The best way I could truly describe Jared Leto would just be like if Gerard Way sucked.
Now hold on here. Or isn't that just Gerard Way?
Hey now, Gerard Way made some good shit outside of My Chemical Romance. He wrote for the Aquabat Super Show, damn it.
The what?
I can't believe of all the fucking references I'm making, why did I say Aquabats? Anyways, he also just
Fuck is Aquabats?
I don't fucking know anymore, man. It was a long time ago. Anyways, I remember he made that little Asian girl Spider-Man, Penny Parker, and he
Yeah.
also created Umbrella Academy.
These were created by Gerard Way. Like he wrote the comic character, the Penny.
Yes, he wrote. Yep, yeah, he's worked for Marvel for a while.
Oh, I didn't know he was like multi-talented. I didn't know that.
Okay, so fun fact: before he started My Chemical Romance, he was interning for like Cartoon Network.
Really?
Yeah, he was interning for Cartoon Network, and then 9/11 happened, and
Oh yeah,
as
I know about that part. And then
and
it leads to Twilight and then 50 Shades of Grey and then Ellen DeGeneres getting fired. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and 9/11 happened, and then it turns to like Gerard Way creating one of the best pop punk albums of all time, 3 times in a row, and then
Karl Marx, um, George Washington technically caused Gerard Way to create his album.
George Washington inadvertently led to Ellen DeGeneres getting fired and publicly humiliated.
Genghis Khan caused that. I love doing this of just like the like you can legitimately take random historical events and slowly connect them to like some random like little thing. It really helps to understand just what how powerful a butterfly effect can really be. Like Genghis Khan causes the bubonic plague by throwing dead rats and bodies at people. Then a lot of Europe dies. Then the churches get reformed. Then they start going to the Americas. Then America happens. Then some other shit. Then Karl Marx. Then communism. Then America sends and funds Osama to fight the commies in the Cold War. Then they turn on us. Then 9/11 happens. And then Gerard Way makes emo bitches wet their shit immediately.
And then Gerard Way just makes emo girls just like write the most creepy fan fiction between him and other band members, including his own brother.
Genghis Khan helped many scene dudes, dudes in the scene back in the day get laid. You know, he was a real homie like that. He was a real G.
Genghis Khan Genghis Khan inadvertently caused some of the coolest shit ever. And then you want to know the best part?
Yeah. What?
Deep down I like to imagine that when 9/11 hit and Gerard Way created I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love, Onision was listening to that shit and going, I should write a book. And then he
Oh
wrote
my God.
Stones to Abigail, which I have on paperback.
You need to burn it still.
I'm
You
not
need
burning
to
it.
burn it.
I'm not burning it. I am reviewing it.
Oh God.
I'm not even joking. I'm actually going to like go to my garage and just like getting my copy of of Abigail, Reaper's Creek, and that other book. This is why I hate you. And I will
Uh,
read all three of them. I will review them. And I show you not, I have like a 4-year-old draft of Stones to Abigail.
God.
Okay, so to analyze the school shooting part of the narrative, I actually managed to get a Sandy Hook survivor to help me with that.
You told me about this in the last episode.
Yeah, yep, and I ended up dating the Sandy Hook survivor. It was quite something.
Oh, it was.
It's
Um,
for some reason everyone just is just flabbergasted that I've dated a Sandy Hook survivor.
because it sounds like one of those I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, wow, I'm talking to someone that actually has a connection to something important that happened. This is a first. Most of the people I know literally are never involved in like anything interesting ever. You're like one of the closest examples of like the opposite.
Yeah, like I've shut down a Discord server before of some dude that made Skyrim essays that lasted for like 20 to 30 hours because
I need to
that's
say
hard.
this before continuing. Because of how many bitches Genghis Khan fucked, theoretically, at least one descendant of Genghis Khan was at a Diddy party. At least one had to have been there.
He was honoring his ancestor.
He was making his ancestors proud,
He was
showing
making his ancestors proud.
Mon his Mongolian pride.
He was a proud Mongoloid at that specific moment, right as he was slapping on the baby oil on himself.
Is Mongoloid a slur or not?
It is a slur.
Well, great. Um, let's hope none of the Mongolian audience is listening to this.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. They're like the one group I'd be like genuinely ashamed of insulting because Mongolian culture is just so goddamn cool. It's just a shame
Oh
to
my,
fucking them over.
there's gonna be like at least one Mongolian person commenting out of like the 10 people that are gonna see this, and like if four of it is gonna be rewatches from like one of us. There's gonna be one Mongolian person pissed, and we're not gonna have a fucking clue what they're talking about. I'm just gonna think it's like a spam comment from like an Indian, like 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 scam crypto account. I'm not even gonna recognize it as Mongolian.
Good Jesus. Um,
And the and then the third episode, we're gonna be joking about like, hey, some Indian dude tried to comment some retarded scam shit on the last video. Isn't that funny? And then they're gonna comment like two more times, like really mad.
you're gonna come two more times really mad, and then I will hear what looks like and then like some primordial fear in me just awakens due to my Spanish ancestry, where I then begin convulsing upon realizing the Khan is near. I'm
Khan,
I'm
the
I'm,
evil Khan.
I'm convulsing and shit because there is a specific chance that I am of also of Arab descent if Spanish history is true. Because
Oh no.
Spain was once had like an Islamic caliphate set in it.
I did hear about that. Yeah, something like that happened.
Yep, the Arabs introduced to Spain good food.
I they didn't introduce enough.
They really did not introduce enough. And then along the way, you'll just see and then along the way, as I'm just convulsing, more the Arab genes in me begins causing more seizures because I'll just start remembering the siege of Baghdad for no reason. Or
Really. Sometimes I have these strange visions where I'm like, I'm just fucking some Italian bitches and I don't know what it means. I mean, it's really nice, but still.
it could. What ancestry are you of Beta?
I'm of whatever ancestry would possibly make it cooler than your ancestry. I'm whatever it needs to be at the moment.
Well, considering you're from Ohio, I'm going to guess you're of German descent.
No, no. My family wasn't from Ohio.
Then where were you
It was
from?
well, my grandmother was from somewhere else further down south, but I don't know what that could entail. I just assumed like either like British or some shit.
I'd like to imagine that deep down you're probably just like Dutch or something.
I'm guts.
Dutch.
Oh, oh fuck no, no. My last name is like the most generic white dude last name possible.
Okay, so if it's gonna be a generic white dude name ever, I'm gonna guess you're of British descent.
That's what I'm thinking. Except whenever I hear like an IRA song, I'm like, I just feel a sudden urge to like figure out how to make a pipe bomb and murder innocent children in British cars. I don't know why.
It's it's truly beautiful, and then out of nowhere, whenever I hear an IRA song, I will begin to pour myself a glass of beer, even though I don't fucking like beer in the slightest. And then I will say in a British accent, "Up the rah."
In 1916, the forces of the crown to take the orange, white, and green bombarded Dublin town. Britannia's Huns. But fuck, I'm already fucking up the lyrics.
Yeah, it's truly beautiful, isn't it?
Kamauchi, Black and Tans, and now we're canceled.
Yeah, we're canceled immediately because we decided to support the IRA.
The IRA did nothing wrong, you son of a bitch.
The IRA did nothing wrong. Those children were just bystanders.
They shouldn't have been born British. Skill issue.
They shouldn't have been born British. Skill issue. I don't know how the IRA just like exists. Like this should have been like such a slam dunk victory for like England because you're essentially just fighting a
Your audio is like,
Irish group that isn't just Catholic national. Okay, never mind. That's maybe why they can't win. They're going up against Catholic nationalists.
I think the issue is that, like, I think this is just a bigger problem in general. Like, the British can't beat like American revolutionaries, and then America can't beat like Vietnamese revolutionaries, and then England can't stop like Irish terrorists. It's just when a group is disconnected and doesn't have like a central authority, you can't you don't beat them because like you're not fighting like a government or a regime. You're fighting a mindset. You're fighting a philosophy.
Yeah, you're fighting a mindset, and no matter how many people you kill, no matter how many people you just set ablaze through inhumane torture, you still have to deal with the fact that there's about 10 more of those assholes that were just born after each one you just killed.
It doesn't help that the IRA quite possibly has some of the best songs ever. That they just has to be said.
The IRA, in my opinion, is they're just kind of like the Chechen warriors of like the Isles.
Oh, I've got a lovely new wait. I've got a God damn it.
Could you imagine just like an IRA member just singing a Chechen war song? He just starts singing
Yo, I've
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, or just starts singing La ilaha Allah.
oh God.
But imagine an Irish person singing clearly Islamic militant songs in Irish Gaelic.
I couldn't imagine it.
Unironically, Ireland is one of the most has one of the most kino fucking folklores I've ever seen in my life. Everything about it just rocks,
No, no.
and yet somehow they've had one of the more peaceful Christian conversions compared to the rest of Europe, anyways.
It's never quite peaceful, isn't it? They always got to go down fighting, always claiming some silly shit about like a golden calf.
Yeah, so real. And then out of nowhere, you'll just get like Saint Patrick, who they will say genocided the Druids, even though he was just some ordinary like missionary for like the Catholics. I was just born Irish, I think.
He murdered all of the Irish snakes.
The normal Saint Patrick was just some normal regular dude, but the hagiographical version of him is just like kill druids, behead druids, round a druid into concrete, slam dunk druid babies onto a trash can, slice druids in half with a katana, mandatory abortions on druids, fry
Oh God.
fry druids in lard.
I don't know why, but fuck, I was just thinking it. Like when I imagine Saint Patrick killing all the snakes, I imagine it going down very similar to that one Salmonella bit about like um uh,
The
fuck
eels.
Frood, Sigmund Frood and the eels. I imagine it's something like that.
These are all girls.
We're out of
Go get more.
eels. What?
I'm not gonna say the rest of it because god damn it, I've said enough shit to like get myself permanently blacklisted from like any employment possible.
Speaking of the blacks,
Speaking of the blacks, did you know that they're
just
now blaming the Latinos for having Kamala Harris lose?
okay, I was about to save your ass by then going back into the IRA and the black and tans bit, but you fucked this yourself. I'm
Anyways, let's really get to like the meat and bones of this little topic. Let's really
Wh-
discuss. Let's
Which
really
topic?
fucking discuss.
We segue a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We've went from Life is Strange to discussing the IRA. And okay, now let's discuss election day. Okay, so I was on a call with this really fucking close person in my life. They're called
Mhm,
EP,
yeah,
like non-binary dude. We were kind
yeah.
of just like monitoring the election for like an hour
Yes.
or two, just like going, okay, let's see what's going on. And I shit you not, I was so shocked at how many electoral votes Trump was gaining.
Really?
Yes, like dude had like 100 while Kamala had like 40.
I'm not surprised. I
And
I
like
think
and like I don't know how to really describe it, but hold on a minute. Let me look up the 2024 election map. Okay, so I'm looking at it and my god, is this busted.
that's what happens when you win the popular vote.
Trump won the popular vote.
Oh yeah.
He won the popular vote in the electoral college. So there's like really no excuse. The Dems just really screwed themselves over.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They-
For example, Trump got Iowa, which is something Kamala was supposed to have a good lead on, but no, Trump just blitzed it.
I think I doubt Kamala Harris is ever going to run for president again. So I think it would be an interesting thing to think about. Like, could she have ever won the presidency in any other like situation? Like, how absolutely terrible would the Republican Party have to be for Kamala Harris in like perfect conditions for her to theoretically win?
Okay, so for example, there's also a lot of blame to put on Kamala too. But let's discuss this. The Republicans were so clearly shooting themselves in the foot every single day with a new scandal. It's unreal. You will have like mainstream media reports lambasting Trump and JD Vance just for existing.
They need to stop insulting us couch fuckers. I'm really disturbed by the slander. They're judging me for my sexuality. I thought we were past this, for fuck's sake. What happened?
And not that, but then just like another thing comes to mind.
Yeah.
I really JD Vance's appointment of vice president has ensured that at least has and that for fuck's sake has at least ensured that at least an Indian woman is going to the White House, and it's not Kamala.
Oh yeah, since we're talking about Kamala Harris and Indian shit, do you know her heritage or like anything about that?
I think she's like black and Indian. I don't know. It's just like this topic of controversy.
Like her mom's Indian and her dad is like black Jamaican British, I think, or maybe like white Jamaican British, and and like his ancestors were like like French slave owners in Jamaica.
Nope, one of them
And
was Irish.
what?
One of the slave owners was Irish.
Oh yeah. So like she's not really black, and before ever running for politics, she would more often describe herself as an Indian woman. And I can understand that, like her relating to one culture over the other, especially relating more to like her mom. But then she's in the presidency and she's talking like a fucking Medea character saying, "Oh, we'd make so many collard greens, we'd have to make them in the bathtub for a cookout." And it's like, this is worse than saying the N-word. This is the most racist shit.
ever. And then it gets worse in my opinion because in my honest to God opinion, what the fuck was I gonna say? All right. And like the issue I really have with Kamala Harris is like she was like Hillary Clinton but actually black.
Yes.
But for some reason she really gave off Elizabeth Warren Cherokee vibes.
like she like she was using the fact that she was more racially ambiguous than most like black women or Indian women to try and court as many voters as possible. Like it's one kind of frustrating when you see like old clips of Hillary like going to southern states and putting on a southern accent and saying, "You gotta Pokemon go to them polls." Like that's one kind of insulting, but it's completely changing like the kind of culture you say you're from and then going to these to different people and saying you're part of them. Like that's a different kind of frustrating. That is worse in my eyes.
In my opinion, it reminds me of like that one Onion bit that's like UN condemns United States for unleashing her Hillary Clinton on Pakistan.
I think Kamala was I would say like is she more evil than Hillary? I don't know, but more competent? No, Kamala was infinitely less competent because Hillary could at least say shit and like get to a point and bullshit you. Kamala, I don't know what the fuck her problem was in like any interview. Like she just couldn't do it.
The issue with Kamala was that she was too approachable. She seemed like she had a bit of a soul. The the best politicians are blatant sociopaths, but not in the Ted Cruz way.
uh, we don't talk about the victims of the Golden State killings. We don't bring that up around Ted. We don't want to trigger anything.
You're right. We don't want to trigger Raphael. I still can't.
Um,
That motherfucker's Cuban.
oh, I never knew that. But
How could a country
what was I
produce?
fuck?
How could a country produce Joey Diaz and Raphael Ted Cruz?
It's truly a beautiful nation.
He's like if Kevin from The Office had no soul.
I fucking hated The Office, but oh yeah, one last thing I need to bring up about Kamala before we move on to shit talking The Office, apparently. Um, because I remember this, like she was on a podcast back like 2020, like smoking weed, trying to connect to young people, and they were like, "When you were in college, did for law school, did you smoke weed?" And she was like, "Yeah." Didn't didn't you then like when you went into to being a prosecutor, you went like harder on people that were like smoking weed, and then she starts like cackling like a psychopath. Like, and then Tulsi Gabbard at like the primaries back in like 2020 or whatever is like, you're endorsing Joe Biden to be your you want to be his vice president or some shit, but you literally called him a rapist on stage and now you're willing to work with him. You called him a rapist to his face and you're still willing to work with him. What does that say about you? Like
Do you?
I think it's
My God, it is
like the just the perfect issue.
it is truly amazing how the DNC fucked themselves over by scamming Bernie Sanders.
I don't think the DNC really scammed Bernie. It was Hillary that was like, no, 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 no. I'm taking over. If you don't, you're not getting the money.
You're not getting the money. And then Hillary managed to botch the election by turning Bernie Bros back to Trump's favor.
Yeah, because I remember this. I think we talked about it earlier in the podcast about like Joe Biden and the union thing and Bernie and why Trump feared Bernie more than Hillary. Like it all just ties back together of for fuck's sake, it's the workers that are the problem here. Like they're broke as shit. Like that's the issue.
It's it's beautiful.
Something else I find frustrating is, you know, realistically speaking, neither of us are ever going to have to worry about like a pregnancy scare. So I think because we essentially we have no standing in the issue, we're actually the perfect people to discuss abortion.
You're right. Let's truly discuss abortion right here, right now. And I don't want you to weasel your way out like your kind usually does. We are discussing this right here, right now.
Wait, what is my kind? What am I weaseling out of?
Your kind usually weasels. You live near Germans and Catholics. Those are like the two most insufferable groups of people imaginable.
I'm not a part of them. I just live among them.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
For example, if an Israeli lives in the Middle East, does that not make them Arab?
No, that doesn't at all.
Exactly. Now come on. So in terms of like abortion, I think we can all truly agree that Planned Parenthood is just somehow the most I want to like them. That's the issue. But they
I've
are
always art. Wait, continue.
Planned Parenthood, in my honest to God opinion, is like I have never seen a group I have wanted to desperately like because I actually do advocate for like abortion rights, which is uncommon for, this far right Catholic trans woman. But on top of I really just but the issue I don't like Planned Parenthood is the fact that their social media is terrible.
Of course it fucking be. Oh wait, I'm remembering some shit. You just unlocked a fucking memory. I remember before I paid for YouTube Premium, I got an ad for Planned Parenthood of like offering up puberty blockers or some shit. And then like two YouTube videos later, I see a Tim Pool video talking about that exact fucking ad. It was the weirdest thing. Like I'm not a woman. I'll never get pregnant. I'm a loser. I'm never gonna get laid. Uh and I'm not trans. I'm not like a young I'm not really a young trans person either, so I puberty what would puberty blockers do? Why the fuck am I even getting this ad?
I remember when I was like either 14, 15, Planned Parenthood had this like really horribly condemned tweet that was like saying which Disney princess would be most likely to get an abortion.
Okay, no, that is good advertising, motherfucker. That's how you start a conversation.
Which Disney princess would get an abortion? I'm thinking Snow White.
Really? Why is that?
Well, Belle, for example, let's really compare the other ones. Cinderella's standard of an abortion would just be tripping down the stairs. The Little Mermaid
Yeah.
got the Little Mermaid would just start laying eggs and shit.
It just crush the eggs.
She just crushed the eggs. That's it. All is
Wait,
done.
wait. Are we talking about like the Disney princess at like the beginning of the movie or like at the end of the movie when shit's already resolved and when they're with their love interest? Because let's say like a Belle in Beauty and the Beast, it's a very different scenario if she gets fucked by Beast when he's going beast mode off that monster energy and versus when he's just a normal Aryan Chad meme on Instagram at the end of the movie.
I like to imagine that Belle would prefer the Beast version of himself because she's
Most women would rather fuck the Beast version. That is 100% true.
the issue is that we had to live in a world where white women are stereotyped as dog fuckers, and I actually had to agree with it. I truly
Um,
I truly can't be a far right Latinx white supremacist that votes Republican and plays Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies if it means I had to like procreate with a group of women that would have sex with a ferret if it made them laugh.
oh God. Um, when I was in middle school, we read a book and watched a movie that was like it was supposed to be like a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast set in like New York. And in the movie, I mean, in the book, the character that turns into Beast, he gets like really hairy, like a teen werewolf. But in the movie, like he doesn't get hairy. He like loses all his hair. He becomes like bald, like tons of like scars and strange tattoos on his body. And I just raised my hand and just did like a poll with the teacher. Okay, how many of the girls here are now more attracted to him? Like he looks more badass now. And can you guess the answer? He looked better. He looked even cooler now. He looked like a punk rock dude that went to war.
Look, a punk rock dude that went to war, he probably actually beat Nazis without sleeping with a 15-year-old girl.
He didn't use the Elvis method.
He was straight Chumbawamba maxing. He wasn't just like Sex Pistols, where they did like one decent thing in life, and which and it did not involve music.
Oh no.
It was just Johnny calling Jimmy Savile a pedophile on live TV.
You know, it's always amazing to me about like Jimmy Savile and shit. Like, how can so many people just know someone's a pedophile and then just nothing happens? Like, how the fuck can this just be like I heard a story of like some kid was at a restaurant with his parents and they were like, "No, Timmy, don't go outside yet. We're waiting for our food. Jimmy Savile usually walks around this time and we don't want you getting touched by him." And it's like if everyone knows this, why isn't no one just waiting outside and like there's some kid just standing in the middle of the road and some guys are in an alleyway with bats just waiting for Jimmy to walk by? Like, why isn't that the fucking why would no one think to do that? What the fuck?
The issue is that Jimmy Savile was a much beloved icon to celebrities, not to the common people. The odds of Jimmy Savile not being a pedophile were the same as like EFAP not making an 11-hour video on Jenny Nicholson not liking a comic book movie. It's
Why are so many talented people pedophiles? Like, is there I'm starting to think there might be a genuine correlation there that like if you're attracted to children, you have a much higher chance to like be just really good at shit for some reason.
yeah, like but at the same
The
time,
fuck?
I don't think Prince was interested in kids.
I never even listened to Prince.
Prince fucking rocks. I'll be honest with you.
Good to know. I'm glad to hear that. I hope he didn't do anything weird with Epstein.
No, he didn't do anything weird with Epstein. The only thing he did was just be this weirdly talented guy at basketball.
You know, I heard Adam Sandler is also like weirdly talented at basketball.
To be fair, it's Adam Sandler. The guy's just the coolest fucking Jewish person ever. I mean, what's there not like about Adam Sandler? He was cool with Norm Macdonald. He made a shit ton of movies. Most of them were just excuses for him and his friends to just like vacation.
Oh, I know about that. I just love that excuse.
And then out of nowhere, he will make a movie and he will act in it, and it will be the most amazing movie you will ever see. Be it
Like uncut gems.
like Uncut Gems or Billy Madison, where the guy is at his A game. The dude is top tier, and then he'll fucking release Jack and Jill to truly balance things out.
There was one time, I used to have this friend from high school, and he's moved away, and I don't know what he's up to now, but there was this one time he's at my apartment, and he's got like his like Swedish emo femboy boyfriend, and we're eating pizza and shit, just chilling, and I don't know how this comes up, but it was like like the femboy like brings up like 8 crazy nights, and then my good friend, I'm gonna call him Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda had never fucking seen it, so I just went on YouTube and literally paid like $4 to own it, and just watched 8 Crazy Nights in like the middle of the summer.
Why?
Because it was a childhood classic for me, you motherfucker.
Same here. I watched Eight Crazy Nights like 20 times as a kid.
The people that made Iron Giant were forced to work on that shit. I love it so much.
It is amazing. They will make something as and they will make something as classic as Eight Crazy Nights, and then be forced a year before to make the Iron Giant, and then you will just have Adam Sandler be himself, and then two annoying old people.
That's a technical foul.
And I swear to God, I just wish the movie was with like the old lady instead.
What, you got a problem with Whitey?
Whitey just starts having a fucking seizure in the middle of a basketball game.
I know, it's fucking amazing.
He just starts having a seizure in like the middle of it. It's like it's just played for fucking laughs. He just has epilepsy.
It's so much funnier when you remember it, but not while you're watching it. That's the beauty of it. Like, it's so much funnier when you just remember it. Like, oh yeah, he had a ton of seizures in that movie.
He had a ton of seizures in that movie. I wouldn't be surprised if the voice was just a sign of horrific brain damage.
He's constantly writhing on the fucking ground, and he's treated so horribly. Like,
He's
like the
horribly. He's like the family disappointment. He's like the redheaded he's like the redheaded stepchild between brother and sister in like rural Maryland, just beaten into the basement.
However, while Chris Chan and Whitey both took their mom to the prom, Whitey didn't do the unthinkable. That's one point in Whitey's court.
He wasn't doing his mom. He was instead doing something. Instead, Chris decides to do something even better with his time,
Chris decided he was gonna finna smash that bar bussy one last time.
and he wanted to smash that Bard bussy in order to make some random University of some Texas Tech girl his gal pal.
Never forget Isabella Janke. I don't know. Her dad was like fucking CIA. So I find it very important to like never forget what she looks like, never forget her name. I'm not letting the CIA walk away from this. You're not walking away from Christery, motherfucker. No one walks away.
Imagine being working at the CIA. You're just like a fucking glowy, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have like a really good list of accomplishments." And it's all overshadowed because your daughter decided to manipulate some autistic weirdo on the internet to molest his mother.
I think like Mr. Beast, his mom was like a prison warden at like Guantanamo Bay or some shit. So I'm starting to think there really is like a weird connection between like CIA and high-ranking like government people and just they raise their kids in such a fucked up way that it turns them into just little creatures, like little crazy people.
I actually did date a girl that like had like a glowy parent.
Oh God. Of was this the Sandy Hook girl?
No, not really. Her mother was just a whore and an anti-Semite. I'm not even joking. All she did was like drink, have sex with several men in like the neighborhood.
I should have been living there. Sounds like a fun time.
Oh man, I remember her saying the Holocaust was good for medical research.
The most dumbest fucking take. What did they learn? They learned if you stab people, it fucking hurts. Wow.
They learned
Enlightening.
they learned if you sew twin people together, they're in constant writhing agony and die from like gangrene like a day later.
Well, since we're diving into topics from the last podcast, I feel like we should do like an inverse of the beginning where now I'm going to actually explain my thoughts on Assassin's Creed, and I want to try and rank these. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Um, okay, I'm trying to. Is there a way if I can number
You know
ocean?
what? I'm gonna be real with you. Let's just number like AC1 to Rogue. That's it. The rest of the series isn't much worth it after Rogue, in my opinion.
I was gonna skip like AC1 because I never played it and go to Syndicate because that's the farthest I would say I've gotten. But we can just go by Rogue and say that's like these are like the first two sort of trilogies.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Rogue was just the coolest shit ever, in my opinion.
Oh, I loved Rogue. It was like the first Assassin's Creed I played was Syndicate, and then I buy these other ones on sale, and I'm like, well, playing as a Templar sounds interesting, and the character looks like he has a rifle on his back, and that's what I'm looking for. And then I play the game, and I'm like, wow, this is really fun. You know, the combat is simplified, but that's okay. Uh, there's you get a grenade launcher and like a silenced air gun with like darts. That's interesting. I wish you could have a hood on that outfit, but it still works. I really like the mechanic of being hunted down by random assassins. I thought the mini games were a little annoying. And I thought, you know, the game was kind of short, but I feel like that was a good thing that worked in its favor, like crammed the good stuff together more consistently.
And it
And
also,
then I played
hmm?
and then I played Black Flag.
And where it feels way too goddamn big for its own good.
Yes. Yes.
The best way to describe Black Flag would be like if would be like if you made Sid Meier's Pirates way more less fun.
I would describe it as going from like Rogue is like one Big Mac, and then Black Flag is like 30 McDoubles. Like this is just fucking ridiculous, man. Like god damn. This is good the first 15. This is getting ludicrous.
And then you play three and it's like a fucking shit show, but at the same time it's significantly way more interesting than than four. Fuck. And four is literally you playing as a pirate, sinking ships.
When I was playing through it, I played then like Syndicate, then Rogue, then Black Flag, and I was going to play 3, but then I was like, hmm, I want to go to Unity since that starts up right after Rogue and I'm more interested in that. And then I played through Unity and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. This feels a lot closer to Syndicate, so I like that. Like I just like it like mechanically smoother. Um and then I went to 3 and oh fuck, it it's how do I describe it?
It's
It's
it's like the ingredients are great. It's just a lot of it is fucked.
it's like it's like you have like a family of like Olympic gymnast, and then you have like one that's like a strong man that's like a little retarded. Like you want to play hide and seek with him to make him happy, and he's literally covering his head with a lampshade, and you just gotta let him go because you feel bad for him. Like that's Assassin's Creed 3. There's no stealth.
There's
I will
no
stand.
Assassin's Creed 3 has no stealth. You are basically just a one-man army, literally blitz
Yes.
everyone.
Like you know how if you like hold down like the left bumper, you're supposed to like call out like assassin recruits that you get? You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about? Okay. I never got that to work. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing wrong. Like I just never did anything. I was so confused. And then when I played the George Washington DLC where like you play as a hallucination that Connor has and you have like special powers with like the left bumper. I was like, oh fuck, I'm using this button. I didn't even I forgot I even had this one. Like what the fuck?
The best way I could also describe Assassin's Creed 3 is like it's so confusing because like you could tell they put more effort into like the setting and like the fact that the Templars are like a lot more likable.
I Hatham is just the funniest goddamn character to me because like both Connor and Shay are just it's such a similar thing of like, can you please stop murdering every single fucking person you ask questions? Like, dude, chill.
Like for example, Shay's just like, okay, we got the information we need, and then Haven just fucking jabs him with his hidden blade, and she's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Even when he really doesn't need to, like he just really wants to do it. Like that's his that's his thing.
That's his thing,
He
and even Connor, his his literal steroid brain son that is literally just that whose sole motivation is to fuck up Haven's gay lover and to beat him into a pulp, and even he's astounded by how senselessly violent Haven really is.
I think it's sort of like when Connor is senselessly violent, he's like defending himself or going to war against like redcoats. He's in his head, he's doing it for like his to save his village, and he's not really like interrogating people that often. When Hatham like is just interrogating some random person, he completely doesn't have to do it. It's not like they're in like a confrontation, but no, he just has to stab him in the neck. He just has to. He's like autistic as fuck about it.
It's like with Assassin's Creed 1, where every time you like beat up some herald or newsman, and after he gives you information, do you know what you have to do? Yeah, you have to fucking stab him to death.
Just ridiculous.
But even th-
Um,
but even then, that's just to, like have no witnesses because not no witnesses. That's just to have just that this is that's for fuck's sake. I hate stuttering. That's just to like make sure there's no loose ends. But even then, Haven is
that
like
makes
targeting
sense. Yeah.
people. It's just targeting people that have like no genuine connection.
Yeah.
He's just a sociopath.
Um,
But even then, he's more interesting than his dad and his son.
oh yeah, there's something else. I realized it as I started playing through the older games before Unity that it feels like I just was not using almost any of the tools in the game. Like in Unity, I'm using these smoke bombs, I'm using this pistol and busting caps, I'm using berserking arrows to poison people, I'm shooting them in the head with like arrows and shit, like out of like the crossbow glove, just constantly using items. But in like from 3 to Rogue, I'm like never using them, almost never, because it doesn't feel like you ever really need to, because the combat is so simple. And like I don't feel like I'm being very encouraged to do stealth in them. In 3 especially, like I think I only ever used the bow in missions where you literally are told to use the bow, like and nowhere else.
I think, and then you play the Ezio trilogy, and when I'm playing Brotherhood, I'm fucking using the crossbow on everyone. I'm using the little hidden pistol.
Yes.
And
And
then when I do
then
all of the Da Vinci missions, which are the most fun part of the game, you get to use a
yeah.
parachute, and that shit is so goddamn awesome.
So then I beat 3, and then we go to AC2, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for some dumb shit. All right, why are people simping for this character? Why do they ride Ezio's dick so hard? And I'm like, okay, I now I can see it. Like now I'm understanding where Connor went so wrong.
And then you play Revelations, and that is the peak of Ezio's character.
Yeah, I beat AC2, I beat Brotherhood, and now I'm like almost like halfway through Revelations, and I'm gonna have to agree. I think Revelations is the peak, like the hook blade and like using the lamps and having a mechanic where you can like either grab onto them and swing around a corner, or hook them and go flying like way further and keep going straight. Like that's fun. I wanted them to like add more to the parkour. I feel like this is a great step. But instead then I'm like thinking, well then why right after this is 3. And like all of this good shit is just gone. And and then Brotherhood has the recruit mechanic and it's back in Revelations and I'm like, wow, this is really useful. I also appreciate like this sort of mini game of sending the recruits out on missions. But it's like, what the fuck?
and
Like,
and
oh, this is supposed to be in 3, but I can never fuck but it like it just never worked for some reason. It was just like glitched or something. I don't know.
and then I and then you play Revelation, and you're like, holy shit, I can actually craft bombs from scratch. You can craft
I
bombs
mean,
from
I'm barely even using the bomb mechanic, but just having that kind of control over your gear, I feel like that's a really appreciated touch.
And another thing I really enjoyed was also just the fact that I love Istanbul as like a setting. It's it
Yes.
it just looks so distinct from Italy, and it has its own like flair to it. Like it makes sense
Oh,
that
most
Italian,
definitely.
like it makes sense to have Italians there, considering Italy and the Ottoman Empire were really close by, and they were like trading partners a lot of the time.
Um, one of who would you say is one of your favorite characters in the Ezio trilogy that like is reoccurring?
There's a Leonardo easily.
My favorite is Duccio.
Yes. Oh God, Duccio. He's just
Are you
like
remember
yeah, he's
are you
just like
remembering him?
or that like fucks your sister over because she wouldn't give up her virginity for some reason.
'Cause she
Really,
wasn't a whore.
because she wasn't a whore, and so Ezio beats the shit out of him. And then in Brotherhood, he insults his sister again, beats the fuck out of him even more so, and then in Revelation, just fucking runs away from him.
Well, you gotta think about this. In Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio isn't a killer yet, and it's like, hey, you were gonna marry my sister, now you're here fucking this fat bitch? Really, huh? I'm gonna beat your ass. So then it's like two teenagers fighting. And then in Brotherhood, it's like your sister takes over a brothel but isn't fucking anyone. She's just like running the finances. And this same motherfucker calls her a whore, and you need to extract information about some paintings. So you gotta beat the shit out of him and like 20 other dudes, just fucking beating the shit out of him.
Just beating the fuck out of them. And somehow
You,
Duco doesn't just go, okay, okay, and he just keeps insulting his sister. Like
yes.
how up your own ass you have to be to doing this. If I saw someone kill 20 of my own men, I'm singing the answers.
Oh, I didn't kill them. I just beat the shit out of them. I didn't think to like pull out any weapons. I was going bare hands on all of them.
That's even fucking better in all honesty.
And then you get to Revelations, and some fucking how when you meet up with that one ginger chick and it's like some Italian dude is flirting with her like, "Ah, mamacita, we're like the only Italian bitches in Constantinople. Isn't there like a romance to that?" And she's like, "Nah, not feeling it." And then Ezio pulls up and he's like, "Oh no. Oh fuck how the fuck are you here? Oh fuck no. Oh no, I'm leaving. Fuck this shit."
And
He
then
just runs away.
just runs away. And then you just see the faces between Ezio and Duccio. Duccio looks like shit, and then Ezio just mugs the fuck out of him.
Oh, I didn't think he looked like shit. I just thought he's like his hair was more grayed, but to be fair, it's been like what, like 30, 40 something years since Assassin's Creed 2 when you first see him. So I'm like he didn't look that much like he didn't look really fucked up to me. He just looked like more aged. I didn't think he looked bad. But of course, Ezio's altered face because the facial copyright or something is so improved. He just, he's mewing constantly. just beats Duccio in every contest.
Beats Duccio in every contest imaginable. And when I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 for the first time, I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Because my aunt let me play it on her PS3 for some reason alongside Resident Evil 4 and Mass Effect 2. Thanks a lot for that, by the way. Really gaming interests.
Yeah.
But like, I think that the real prize, the real secret sauce for success here, when I was like 8 years old, I was like, you're really leaving this relatively attractive girl for her? It,
Well, she wouldn't. Claudia wouldn't put out.
the issue with that is like, it's like seeing a black man on Tinder swipe over the most beautiful black woman to ever exist, and then goes for this 400-pound white woman that shops at like Family Dollar and is built like the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger,
Oh God.
just built like a
Well,
linebacker.
since I think we're kind of in agreement here on like this ranking, um, I'm gonna just make this list now and just try to like one is the best and then figure out what's the worst. AC1 through Syndicate, since I tried Origins for like 10 minutes and I just couldn't get into it.
That's fair.
Okay, so like Revelations is the peak. I think we're both agreeing on this.
Yeah, Revelations is like the peak, at least in terms of gameplay.
Yeah. And I was like enjoying the story too, albeit the face thing does irk me a little.
Yeah, it's whatever. Let's see what else. And then you have like the oh god damn it, what was it called? Oh yeah. And then like you will have something as beautiful as gorgeous. Hold
As
on.
what?
Hold on. Why is my dog so retarded?
What the fuck?
The dog is just existing. What do you want? Were you Oh, that explains it. Give me one second.
What's going on? Fuck was that sound?
Don't you? Base.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Woohoo. Okay, so what was I
Okay,
gonna
so
say now?
working so I guess working backwards here, like Revelations is the best, and then Brotherhood would be like second, and then AC2, and then AC1. Like logically.
And I put AC1 over AC Brotherhood.
I I never played it, but I can't really argue against it, so I'm gonna put it there. Okay, so AC Revelations, then 1, then Brotherhood, then 2. So then we would go to Rogue, I think.
Yeah, Rogue has the better has Evolda post Ezio games. I think it has like the best narrative in my opinion.
I didn't think Rogue had the best story. I mean, I feel like it was just so like concise. I wasn't getting pissed at it. Like, wow, what a short, nice experience. This wasn't dragged out at all.
It was nice and concise. Plus, the idea of exploring the like North Atlantic is just such a novel idea.
All right, yeah. So then you can go Rogue, and then what would be after that? Because,
Hmm. Okay, so
because I,
kind of a hot take, but Syndicate.
yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking.
Like
Yeah,
the
and
issue I have with Unity is the fact that the parkour is so shitty.
I didn't have any problems with the parkour at all, though. I mean, I think I glitched it like twice, but like I was surprised it happened so few times.
I think the main issue with what was it? Oh yeah, I think like my main issue with Unity's parkour was the fact that like there are so many animations and like people will say it's like, oh, it's really realistic and flashy, and then you just leap like 80 feet doing a move and somehow not die immediately.
I think so should I put Unity after Syndicate then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's fair. And then
Although I do have to admit, I really do have to admit the story is really bad.
I didn't really care much for the story either. I was just thinking like I want to be making fun of this, but at the same time, all I'm thinking is, isn't this ginger bitch like his stepsister? Like this, I don't know, man. This is kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, like this is kind of weird, my man. Like even for French standards, this is really abysmal. And then you start helping out the Marquis de Sade, which is and the best way to describe that would be like if you were to start helping out if Jeffrey Epstein was just your close associate.
Caligula. Yeah.
Just like why would you endorse this man? Napoleon and the aristocracy hated him for a reason.
I think I saw a goat walk out of that Market de Sade house. I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
Have you ever read a de Sade book?
No, and I don't think I want to.
I genuinely don't recommend it. I've read a lot of weird shit. This is one of those books that I don't recommend. If
Speaking of things we wouldn't recommend, we've got 3 and 4 left.
okay,
This
so
is a tough one.
I'm gonna go on a limb and rank three higher than four.
This is a fucking tough one for me because this is fucking tough because in one hand I'm like there's not much it fuck it's like one for one for every issue one has the other one beats it but then the other one fucks up in it some other way. Like 3 has the better story.
But at the
3
same,
has the shittier boat gameplay.
three has significantly better villains, but three also has the really has
Has no stealth.
has no stealth.
None.
Three has like three has, in my opinion, the better music.
Yeah,
But
I think that.
you prefer Black Flag's music.
No, no, I was agreeing with you.
But at the same time, three also just has barely any personality.
Yeah, I just wasn't interested in like the settings in either one I because well Syndicate is my first one, so I'm thinking like, okay, well there's parkour. The best place to fucking set these games is in like a crowded city. Like that's like the best place. And 3 and 4 are just so counterintuitive to that. But 4's got so much boat combat and shit. It doesn't need the parkour as much, but it feels like as it's a great pirate game. It's not the best Assassin's Creed game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, should we go over there? And I feel like my main issue with what was I gonna say? Oh, that's right. But I think my main issue with Black Flag is the fact that like there are there are like three characters in that game that outshine Edward in every way.
Yeah.
You have Adewale, who is literally just a Trini slave that is literally significantly cooler than Edward because in his little
Yes.
DLC, he literally carries with him a proto shotgun and just starts blamming people.
Oh yeah, Blunderbuss.
And the other one, you just have Blackbeard.
Yeah, Blackbeard and the lighting, the fuses that like burn for a while in his beard. That's cool. My issue with Edward and his story is just I don't give a fuck. I think the meta story hurts it too. because I think Rogue is the last one that has anything to do with like the modern day story. Because then you get to Unity, and then you're just some nameless person being told by some assassin bitch that you don't even know, like, hey, you're with us now. You're gonna be hacking some shit. You're not doing any cutscenes or anything like that in the real world. Fuck you. Um,
Origins and Valhalla has modern day.
I didn't play the RPG ones though, so I can't talk about them. But oh yeah, since I started with Syndicate and there's only like 3 scenes to deal with the modern day in the whole game, um, what I was thinking was, and then I play Rogue, and it just constantly, and then like Rogue and Black Flag, this problem felt just so constant. We're like, wow, the story's getting good. I'm getting invested. Whoops. Now we're gonna watch 20 minutes of fucking Fargo and then go back to the action movie. Oh no, we gotta watch. God fucking damn it. Like, I don't like.
Like I don't get
It's like,
it. Like I don't mind watching cutscenes in gaming. Like for example, in the game The Darkness, you can watch the entire To Kill a Mockingbird movie with your like in-game girlfriend, and it's like a genuinely really sweet moment. But then you play a Ubisoft game, and it's the most tedious thing ever.
I think it's not even that it's a cutscene, because in Rogue and Black Flag, you're playing as some like computer dude working at Abstergo, except one of them becomes a Templar, the Black Flag dude becomes an assassin, I think. Or I think maybe he dies, I don't fucking know. But it was the most frustrating thing in both of them, where you're playing through the story, you're starting to care about Edward, you're starting to care about Shay, and it's like, oops, we gotta go deal with some dumb shit in the modern day in first person. Let's let's walk slow as shit. Let's do some puzzles because fuck you.
There is like one thing I have to give Black Flag. One thing I have to give to
Yeah.
Black Flag is the fact that the critters don't look like horrific Play-Doh.
Do you say the creators?
No, the characters don't look like
Oh.
horrific Play-Doh.
Uh That was one thing about like Connor that kind of confused me is that it always felt like he looked too old for his age. I don't know, like he aged like I don't know if it's just like the way his head is shaped and like the angle they've always got on him, but like he always looks way too fucking old for how old he is.
Like for example, when you go to like Achilles' homestead, the kid is like 14.
Yeah, I heard that too. Like in that first cutscene with Charles Lee burning down the place, he's supposed to be like 3 years old. Like, there's no way this fucking kid is 3. He's like 12 at least.
And then next up, and then here's my favorite. You just have Charles Lee looking disheveled as fuck, even though he should be in his like early to mid 20s when he's like threatening Connor.
Yeah, like he looks like when he's with Hatham, he's still like balding, right? If I'm remembering this right.
Not really.
Nah. My
Early on,
memory's fading on that. He looks like oily as shit in like when Connor has to deal with him.
yeah, it's like yeah, it's kind of like the Dutch van der Linde thing from Red Dead Redemption, except you don't feel bad for Charles Lee.
Oh man, there were so many points in like 3 where I'm just fighting some character and I'm thinking like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't remember you. Then I'm like, was this one of Hatham's friends at the beginning? Oh my God, that was so fucking long ago. This game is so fucking long.
And
I'm
then and
forgetting who these people even are.
and then when you kill them, they're just like, wow, I sympathize with these guys more than Connor.
Okay, I'm gonna bite the bullet here and put 3 above 4 for one reason only.
What?
When I was playing Black Flag, it's the only Assassin's Creed game where I was about to fucking rage quit, where like I was getting more pissed at it than like any fucking Dark Souls boss. I was just losing my shit because of the optional objectives in the main missions. I was just getting so pissed, like I should be doing this shit. It should be simple. This is a fucking Ubisoft game. How am I fucking this up? And I'm just slowly going insane until I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care about the synchronization data. I don't fucking care. I'm moving on.
Um, but I feel like four does have one other character that really makes the game more tolerable.
That one like fat ginger dude.
No, not him. Although he is a goat. It's just Mary. Is she
Fuck, I
important?
don't remember who that is.
James Kidd.
Oh, yeah, the one that was like cross-dressing. Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I that oh yeah, that was one of the things I thought was so fucking stupid because like I was like I yeah, that's a woman, obviously. I can Was I supposed to think she was a dude this whole time? Was was this supposed to be a reveal?
it was supposed to be revealed. I I don't know. I was like, did they model him after like Ralph Macchio,
I don't know who that is, but
the fucking Karate Kid
probably.
dude? Fun fact: during Karate Kid 2 and 3, he was like 30.
I never saw Karate Kid. The most I've seen of Karate Kid were like those Mr. Miyagi memes, like Daniel-san, stroke up, stroke down on my egg roll.
Okay, Mr. Miyagi. OMG, this is so good. I need this more than
Oh
college.
my God, your voice is so fucking accurate to like that meme. Holy shit.
Daniel-san,
Fuck.
you must stroke egg roll up and down. Okay,
What
Mr.
the fuck?
Miyagi. Okay, very good, Daniel-san.
I thought we were supposed to kick with our feet. They can rub too.
Okay, Daniel-san, you must chop egg roll in half. Oh, but why, Mr. Miyagi? Do it, Daniel-san. It's just like,
It's the Miyagi way.
it's the Miyagi way.
And every fucking comment is like, Mr. Miyagi did not die for this shit.
Did not die for this shit. And then when you watch the movies, it is only a little bit exaggerated. Daniel legitimately glazes this man.
Oh, I've only seen like clips from the TV show about Karate Kid, about like the
Cobra
Daniel when
Kai.
like he's yeah, yeah. It's like it's some poor woman's funeral and he's like, it's what Mr. Miyagi would have wanted.
And it's like some dude talking about his dead wife, and you're like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So won't stop bringing him up.
And then like Daniel in the show literally walks to some Mexican fisherman and goes, "No, you just remind me of an old friend." I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Okay, that is fucking amazing.
I kid you not, it's real. I'll literally show you it soon.
Oh my fucking God, that's fucking beautiful.
Um,
Walks up to some random Mexican. You remind me of this Chinese fucker I used to know.
you remind me of him.
Eh? No English?
No English.
Por favor.
Hold up.
This is the most ridiculous shit. Oh God. Oh fuck. Well, we've got our list here. Revelations, then 1, then Brotherhood, then 2, then Rogue, then Syndicate, then Unity, then 3, and then 4. Black Flag was the worst. I proved my point.
For real.
It only took about, let's see, you start at episode 1 at the beginning of the podcast and you go to this one. So it only took about 4 hours in total for me to actually make my point of why I hate Black Flag.
It only took us 4 hours and like 2 to 3 weeks in between.
An an entire election has happened. There's a new president now. There, so much has changed.
It's like Attack on Titan, where the fourth season was split into like 3 to 4 parts, and it took 4 years to actually make it finished.
Oh my God, the fucking hell. I would hate watching any. This is where, like, I don't think I can watch a TV show unless it's already finished. Like, I can't wait for this shit. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
And then you just have like this one really beautiful moment where the finale was split in 2 parts,
Yeah.
and then they're releasing a movie version of the finale, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
I couldn't
do I need
relate.
more of this?
You do. You need more Attack on Titties.
You need more Attack on Titan. You really need to see this German man wishing he could plow his Japanese stepsister.
I That just always made me uncomfortable because I was always raised with like step relatives. So like I don't know. Like I just that whole taboo subject, like that doesn't click with me like I imagine it does for other degenerates. Like that just I don't feel comfortable with it. It just feels weird.
That's because step sibling thing is like is like socially acceptable incest in a sense.
I think we're hitting another issue here. I'm genuinely kind of worried that like regular incest might become somehow socially acceptable. Like I don't know, I have this fear that like that somehow is gonna happen.
So who do you think is going to be involved in making it more popular first?
I'm blaming Game of Thrones and I'm blaming that one game.
The Coffin of Andy and Lele.
Yes.
I do I do have to actually review it once it's like finished. And
Oh yeah.
I've played what's been released, and I'm not going to lie, it is not a good game.
I would imagine it seems like well there's no combat, it's just like a story game
It's not.
and
I argue that makes the game's writing worse because like it is basically a visual novel,
yeah.
and the issue is like you could tell when a game is like done by a woman.
Was it made by a woman? I didn't know.
I don't know the careers pronouns are not there, but you could tell the art was done by a woman.
The
If
art
that
style
makes
reminds me of coffee. I don't know how to explain it.
It also reminds me of like
Like just the color palette.
the color palette. It's like coffee if coffee was a Vivzy Pop fan.
If your McDonald's frappe had a crippling addiction to a hell takers.
Exactly. And then along the way, as I played the game, I'm just like this is boring. And like the incest stuff is actually pretty optional.
Yeah, I
Like
heard about that. Like, oh, so you don't even have to do it. We can entirely avoid this.
and like what's the point of this? This is like your game's marketing.
It's bait. That's my theory. Like, I heard that Hell Takers was made for like a similar reason as the Coffin game of like the creator wants to make porn of these characters, but he doesn't want to have to pay commission money. So he just makes the game's art style in a way where it's going to bait a ton of Rule 34 porn into being created.
And instead you just get the weirdest art possible, where you'll just see like the son and his mom together, because somehow the child abuser is less annoying than the actual female main character.
It's that bipolar disorder shit. It's that's where it all comes from. We're sick of it.
We're sick of it. We're sick of the BPD. We're sick of the Yandere girlfriends, the Gasais and all that.
Yeah, the bipolar disorder really turned me off from the incest and cannibalism
Exactly.
in that order.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I can excuse incest, cannibalism, child abuse, manslaughter, etc., etc., but I draw the line at bipolar disorder.
To get more serious for a moment, I
Uh-huh.
think the reason why the Coffin game, although I've never played it, like why it bothers me so much, is more of like this philosophical issue in my head where I'm thinking this game scenario where it's like two like family members locked in a place for a long time and like cannibalism and whatnot. It reminds me of like still water. It reminds me of like Dark Souls, that sense of like this needs to change. You need to get the fuck out of here. You can't stay in this nest locked in a cage. It's just this rotting growth. Like when I like incest and cannibalism in my eyes, they both tie together in the sense of it's a form of self-destruction where it feeds into itself. Trying to think of how to phrase it. Like
It's like
it's
an
like you have to be like a river. You can't just stay in this sort of place forever. You have to move.
Yeah, exactly. You just had to keep on going through. And the issue I have with the Coffin of Andy and Lele is like they're clearly codependent. I just wish the incest was. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like holy fucking shit. I really wish the incest was not optional. How do I say that without coming across as a creep?
I think I
How?
can see what you're trying to say, like to make like the message maybe more like coherent.
Yeah,
Like, oh, this is wrong.
like for example, and Andy or Andrew basically just basically is a walking doormat throughout the game, and his sister just steamrolls through it. They're very much codependent. He's You could tell he's just kind of sick of her shit, but he just goes along with it anyways because he really doesn't have a choice. And the issue is, and the thing is, it's a good idea for a protagonist. The issue is, Lele is just such a nothing character. We live in an era where like female pedophiles are now being taken seriously, kind of. Like for example,
Really?
you'll have like for example, the most hated female pedophile right now is like Makima from Chainsaw Man. But even then, she had like a ton of simps.
Oh, she can hurt me anytime.
Oh, she can groom me anytime.
Where were
What the?
these bitches when I was 12? What the fuck?
Where was Bridget Macron at when I was 16?
Oh, back to the coffin thing. On a bigger issue, I'm like, more people are stuck in their houses. More people are like recluses, not reaching out to the rest of the world. They're staying inside on their phones and shit. They're not making friends. So I'm worried that like these people are going to keep turning inwards and around the people around them, and they're going to be like more like codependent family people that like they should have moved out. They should have not just moved out, but they should have moved on, like taught made some friends, like left and like became new individuals. They should have developed new personas, new mask to wear of a personality, new identities, but instead they're rotting, stuck in that phase. of just a family dynamic issue forever. Like I think that's why it bothers me so much.
And another issue that I really have with it is the fact that like it doesn't even try taking itself seriously. A lot of it is done for like the purposes of shock value. And like here's the thing, shock value can be done well if it's like out of genuinely nowhere and that's just it. The issue is most of the game is shock value. It's like playing. The best way to describe it is like this is the hatred to Hills Have Eyes Postal,
Yeah, I can see that.
where like Hills Have Eyes is like this really messed up horror movie about like this cannibalistic family of like mutated inbreds.
I'm thinking more of like Wrong Turn, like inbred cannibals, like literally.
Oh right, I forgot all about Wrong Turn.
Also, your audio is kind of quiet. Like, are you far away? Hello?
And like, there is one other thing I did have a major issue with the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, the issue with I had with Lele is that I never even take her seriously or take her as like a serious threat. She's just kind of a nuisance. She's just obnoxious and bratty and and just like really obviously manipulative. But even then, you can make that work. The issue is
Writer's
she just never
guy's
feels like an
fetish.
actual threat or presence. Like why should Andy be afraid of her? Just like choke the bitch out.
Because I think it's sort of like he knows she's fucked in the head, but it's like, well, he doesn't want to lay a hand on her because she's still his sister. I think that's the mindset there.
But even then, considering the shit she makes him do, I'd sooner just like grab a brick and throw it at her.
I cannot wait for this to end up on the news and it in like the some news reporter was like, here we have two dangerous criminals advocating for the IRA, the attacks on women, hateful language regarding white women especially. And it's got like every member of the View except for that one bitch, like just so offended. And the like Whoopi Goldberg's like shaking her head up and down, like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, they're so rad. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's all
Yeah,
right.
amen.
Amen. That's all right. And get an amen, sister. Anyway, so here's why the Holocaust was not about race.
I just fucking love Whoopi for that. Just so fucking out of pocket.
It was not about race. Just the most unbelievably wrong question I've ever seen.
I can kind of understand her logic is that as an American, you see Jewish people and you see white people, and I can see how someone would be like, they're the same thing. They're literally the same color. How would you care?
And then just Whoopi decides to screw it up because Whoopi Goldberg's an idiot.
What is Whoopi Goldberg even known for?
I remember she's an actress.
Yeah, but what did she fucking act in?
Monkey Bone.
What the fuck is that?
It's a movie starring Brendan Fraser as a depressed cartoonist.
That just sounds like depressed, just sounds like Brendan Fraser in a nutshell.
I mean, yeah, I'd be depressed too if I was paying alimony to Afton Smith.
Oh man. Plus he
I just,
gained like 700 pounds. I can't believe he did that.
yeah, and then he starred in The Whale. They just starred in The Whale, and he was in Doom Patrol, which, like, I can guarantee you, nobody but me has seen.
Do you say Doom Patrol? Does he like voice a robot dude?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen clips of that on like YouTube, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm just happy Brendan Fraser has gotten the love and support he's always needed, especially considering some producer molested raped them.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he got blacklisted for that.
There's gotta be like an easier way for like high-ranking people to like vet each other besides like just sodomy. There's gotta be an easier way to do this.
Like, I swear to God, you couldn't like get like a prostitute or something. You couldn't just like go to your wife or something. You couldn't go to a gay bar. Like Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking, um, like why do you have like is it like a sex thing for them? Is it just like a power thing? Like, oh well, this is like the most humiliating thing we can do, so we're just gonna have to do that.
Probably
Like, what?
probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
Ah, that's fucked
Uh,
up.
Brendan
Ah,
Fraser had it coming. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 3 was fucking terrible.
he wasn't that.
I don't fucking know. I just made that up. I didn't even know if there was a third one.
They're making a second movie apparently.
Since we're back to hypothetical movies, Shia LaBeouf, everyone.
Ah, yes. Let's see. Megalopolis too. But for real, I'm like getting like pretty fucking sleepy.
Okay, if you are you ready to end the recording then?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, goodbye everybody. This has been the Mach&Velli podcast, your world's #1 professional podcaster.
I hate my life. And this is also Valley signing off.